In this video, we'll explore some of the ways we can create different polygons. For example, how can we create a basic triangle? One way would be to go into the drop down at line and click segments. And if I just start drawing my segments, and then I could click from B over and from C back up to A. And now I use my moving tool, I can see I now have a triangle that no matter what I do is always a triangle. If you don't like the fact that they give these sides names, you can always right click and click on show label and they go away. Right click, show label, the name goes away. Right click, show label, the name goes away. And if you want to move a point, you can always just click and drag it. Now that's just a very generic triangle, and we can check things like measure the angles and see that they sum to 180 degrees and do some different aspects like that. But we can also start to construct triangles, such as a right triangle. Because I could make a triangle, if I drag it, I could get this to about a 90-degree angle, and I can measure it. So I'm going to do measure angle, so I'm going to go C, B, A, because I want that right angle, or I want to go counterclockwise to measure that angle inside, and I could drag it until I get it pretty close to 90 degrees, and you can see how hard that is to do. See, even then it just doesn't want to necessarily give it to me, so we can see that just trying to sketch it is not a great way to go. But how could we construct it? Well, one way is I could start with a segment, one side. And if you think about what does it mean to be a right triangle, I'm going to hide that. It means that I have a right angle in it. And how can I form right angles in in Geogebra? I can use perpendicular lines. So one way I could do it is I could come here to parallel. I come here to my my different operations of lines and click perpendicular line. I could choose which point I want the perpendicular to be, and I'm going to use that line segment. Now what that tells me is I now have that right angle, so I just need to make my triangle. So I'm going to put a point on my line, and now I'm going to connect all 3 points with line segments. And again, I don't like having those little names, so I just show label and change the show label here. And if I look there, I can measure that angle. Again, it goes from D to E to F because I'm going counterclockwise, and it's 90 degrees. And I can drag this, and no matter how I drag it, I have that right angle, and I can make an infinite number of right triangles. And if I don't like that line being in the back, what I can do is come over here, and you see there's little circles by each thing. If I click on the line that I want to get rid of, you see it's highlighted. If I click on that circle beside it, it disappears. So you can tell what's being shown and what's being hidden, because if the circle's white, it's hidden. If it's dark, it's being shown.